So for those who clicked on this video and are avid NASCAR fans, I have a question for all of you. When was the last time NASCAR console gaming was great? Not fine, not acceptable, not even good, but genuinely great. Maybe Inside Line, the first NASCAR game to perfect pack racing? Maybe NASCAR 14? After all, a lot of fans tend to look back on the Eutechnics era with a different mindset. In my opinion, while those games were fun and enjoyable entries, they weren't great. The last time a NASCAR game was made that was genuinely great and enjoyed by a lot of people was during the Golden Era. This was the 6-year span that Electronic Arts was cooking up classics like the Thunder series. And in my opinion, the last great NASCAR game capped off this era. That game was
NASCAR 2006 Total Team Control.
Today's story begins with the rich history of NASCAR itself. The National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing was founded by Bill France Sr. in 1948. From its humble beginnings on the dirt tracks of the Southeast United States, NASCAR quickly grew into one of the most popular motorsports organizations in the world. The sport's appeal lay in its roots: stock cars, vehicles that the average person could relate to, racing at high speeds on a variety of tracks. Over the decades, NASCAR produced legendary drivers like Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon, who became household names and helped the sport reach new heights. As the sport grew and evolved over the now 75 years it's existed for, the stock cars of its humble beginnings gave way to bodies covered in sponsorship decals, with a reinforced roll cage on racing slick tires, and a thundering V8 engine boasting 900 plus horsepower. NASCAR draws thousands upon thousands of fans from all walks of life each year, with the sport's biggest event being its first race of the season, the Daytona 500. Whereas other sports organizations would save the best for last, NASCAR makes it the opening act. Even those uninterested in stock car racing will sometimes tune in to watch 40 cars battle it out at 200 miles an hour for the most prestigious trophy in auto racing. So that brings us to the virtual adaptations. Throughout the 70s and 80s, video games became a dominant form of entertainment. So it was only natural for NASCAR to make its way onto consoles and PCs. The very first NASCAR game was known as Richard Petty's Talladega, released for the Atari in 1984. It wasn't a simulation in the slightest, as cars without boost could reach speeds of 250 miles per hour, and with boost could hit close to 300. As the years went on, technology evolved, and so too did gaming. The next few games, like Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge in 1990 and NASCAR Racing in 1994, captured the thrill of stock car racing and brought it to fans in a whole new way. However, it wasn't until the late 90s and early 2000s that NASCAR games really hit their stride. There were releases such as NASCAR 98, Dirt to Daytona, the Thunder series, and what many people consider pound for pound the greatest simulation NASCAR experience, NASCAR Racing 2003 season, commonly abbreviated as NR 2003. The combination of improved graphics, better physics engines, and more comprehensive gameplay options allowed these games to truly capture the essence of NASCAR racing. During the first few years of the new millennium, EA Sports became a major player in this space, securing the official NASCAR license and releasing a series of highly regarded titles, with the Golden Era peaking in 2004 with NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup, a game thought of by many to be EA's best NASCAR game. But, as you've clicked on this video for, that's not what I think the best NASCAR game is. Enter NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. Released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, this game was developed by EA Tiburon, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because it's the same studio who's responsible for the Madden NFL series. At this point, EA Sports had several years of experience with the NASCAR license and were looking to innovate as technology was only becoming better and better. The key feature of NASCAR 06 lies in the subtitle, Total Team Control. For the first time ever, players could take control of their entire racing team. So this meant not only driving their own car, but also having the ability to swap cars with your teammates. You've got full control over managing your teammates, issuing commands, and working together to secure the best possible results for the team. It was a bold new approach that added a strategic layer to the game. My favorite thing to do was to take a backmarker team and skip qualifying, so that way the driver I controlled would start the race from last place. I would then work to bring each car to the front, one by swapping to the others and cutting my way through the pack. It's good fun, especially on short tracks and intermediates, like my home track, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, which just raced here this past weekend. If you want to see some video clips from that event, click the link at the top of the description. Regardless, let's cover a few more features that Total Team Control brought to the table. NASCAR 06 was packed with features that made it a standout title. The Total Team Control system allowed players to switch between cars on the fly, share draft with teammates, and even block opponents to help a teammate gain position. All of this added a whole new dimension to the racing experience. The game also featured an extensive career mode called Fight to the Top, where players could start from the bottom and work their way up to the top tiers of NASCAR. This mode included an ally rival system, sponsorship deals, team management, and a variety of race series to compete in, from your start in the Whelen Modified Tour all the way to the NASCAR Nextel Sprint Cup Series. The AI are challenging and dynamic. As you progress through your career, you'll either make friends or enemies out on the track based on how you conduct yourself during races. If you bump into them or knock them off the track, they'll become your rival. Expect them to exact their revenge on you by spinning you off the track when they see you again. On the opposite side of the spectrum, racing your opponents clean will result in some of them becoming allies, along with your teammates. Allies will draft with you and give you pushes on super speedways. The Intimidator is also introduced here. When you toggle it on, following a driver close will put them under pressure, causing them to make mistakes. Expect them to lose control of their car, block the brakes going into turns, or move over into the path of another car and wreck the field. Other notable modes include Dodge Speed Zone challenges and Chase for the Nextel Cup. In terms of realism, NASCAR 06 delivered with caution replays, detailed car models, a multitude of selectable paint schemes for each driver, realistic damage systems, cinematic cutscenes, and accurate track representations, all of this making for exciting gameplay. The game also supported online multiplayer, which allowed fans to race against each other from all over the world. Upon release, NASCAR 06 received positive reviews from both critics and fans. The innovative team control mechanics, deep career mode, and overall polish were widely praised, quickly making it a favorite among NASCAR enthusiasts and players alike. However, the game's legacy is particularly noteworthy when we consider the ones that came after. In the years following NASCAR 06, the series struggled to maintain its quality. Later entries like NASCAR 07 and NASCAR 08 were criticized for being too similar to their predecessors and lacking innovation. The transition to the next generation of consoles was also rocky, with games like NASCAR 09 failing to impress. There were plans for a NASCAR 10, with screenshots surfacing years later. The game was cancelled when the licensing agreement between EA and NASCAR expired. EA opted not to renew, which opened the door for companies like Technics to take a stab at creating a NASCAR game. As much as this change hurt, it was one that was needed. It felt like EA was phoning it in with the last few releases. Everyone could tell that the work ethic and the effort put in was deteriorating. As EA was the only company that could make a NASCAR game at the time, they figured they wouldn't need to try, because they had no threat from other companies. It feels like this drastic drop in quality also reflected the TV ratings for NASCAR around the late 2000s, as the COT was introduced, which was a design of car that fans did not approve of. We see this laziness and lack of innovation with EA today, as they still have the NFL simulation license for at least another few years, and could very well renew it, making Madden the only simulation football game on the market. And I don't need to explain the fall from grace that series has had, as it is quite obvious. Many fans and critics consider NASCAR 06 Total Team Control to be the last great NASCAR game. It represented the pinnacle of EA Sports' efforts with the license, combining innovative gameplay with a deep and satisfying racing experience. Subsequent releases from EA and other developers have struggled to recapture the magic of NASCAR 06, making it a beloved title in the history of racing games. NASCAR console gaming has been on a steep and steady decline for pretty much the last 10 to 15 years. The NASCAR Heat series started off as a disgrace to NASCAR gaming. The first entry in 2016 felt like a mobile game, with PS2 graphics on the cars, track only being a little bit better than what was expected by players at the time. The later entries only been marginal improvements. The most recent title is considered by many to be the worst NASCAR game ever, NASCAR 21 Ignition. It reviewed so poor and played even more poorly that the dev studio lost almost all of their income and had to relinquish the license to iRacing, who are currently developing a next-gen simulation game to release sometime in 2025. In closing, NASCAR 06 shows what can be achieved when a development team truly understands and embraces the essence of a sport. The features and deep gameplay have earned it a special place in the hearts of racing fans. The older games feel like a reflection of the sport in its current day. Drivers who were considered young or in their prime when these games were new are now either retired or looking to retire. Their time in the spotlight may be over, but their legacy won't be forgotten. Looking back on this classic title reminds us all of a time when both NASCAR and its games were at the forefront of the public eye, and we can't help but hope for a future where they might return to those glory days. Thanks for watching.